Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to our monthly summit. Yes, here we are for our monthly summit for you. This group, as you already know, is amazing in and of itself. There is so much support, and our administrator, Angie Smith, she's a powerhouse. She absolutely is. She has gathered together some amazing experts for you. You might have seen me. I am Vanessa Cardenas. I'm a relationship reset expert. I am one of the speakers here. I'm actually the kickoff speaker. This is my 19th appearance. I've been within this group for almost 2 years now, seeing the wonderful outpouring of support when we as women are going through really difficult times. Absolutely. My specialty is betrayal. I know. If betrayal led to your divorce, I'm the person you want to be talking to be following. I know a lot about betrayal. I experienced it. I lived through it. It is like no other experience. So if you have betrayal that has led or is leading to your divorce, it's completely different. It absolutely is. It is a different kind of trauma. Yes, trauma. It is. Because what we need to remember is that betrayal is a very dramatic thing. Now, you might not have betrayal in your situation. See, most relationships don't fall apart in dramatic moments like betrayal. They fall apart in patterns that were ignored for years. And betrayal doesn't just break trust, it breaks your sense of reality. And by the time couples start talking about divorce, the relationship has usually been deteriorating for years. It's been a slow burn. And here you are within this very large group looking for support, looking for clarity to make sense of actually what's going on in your world. And you might have a lot of chatter coming from a lot of sources. Our friends and family, they mean well. They do. They have your best interest at heart. But sometimes they don't say the right thing. They don't. And they actually make that incision, that hurt that you have, even worse. We don't want that for you. We don't want that for you. And that's why this group is here for you. Now, today we have a great lineup of expert speakers speaking from their perspective, their zone of genius, their expertise. You'll hear all different sorts. You're going to hear from me right now, more related to betrayal and clarity, infidelity, and getting a sense of exactly what's going on. Because yes, while divorce is, you're here because that is your direction that you are going in, or you have already done it, you've already initiated the process of divorce, or you have already signed the paperwork on the divorce and you're finding challenges after the ink has dried and you're looking for solidarity, clarification, and a general sense of support for what you are going through. Because yes, you are unique. You are beautifully unique. there are commonalities to the experience that everyone has related to relationships. And that is my area. My area and who I am is a relationship reset expert. Now, that relationship might be a relationship with others. It also is the relationship that you have with yourself, because that, above all else, is the most important relationship to have. Yes, you might have children, and you are mama bear. Oh, without a doubt. You would chop off your right hand if it meant that your children do not suffer. I get that. I have two of my own. Absolutely. But we need to put ourselves at the top of the list, because for far too long, we were everything to everyone else, and we were so low on that list. We were. And I invite you now to put yourself at the top of that list, to the top of that list, so that you don't lose sight of you and how important you are. So that is the relationship that you have with yourself. And sometimes it needs a recalibration, needs a reset, need to see things from a different perspective. Even just a 1 degree turn can change the whole pattern, similar to a kaleidoscope. So today I'm going to be speaking from that perspective. As I mentioned, we have a lot of guest speakers today, experts in their respective fields. We have Denise coming on, and then we have Joyce. You've seen Joyce and Denise in the group. Then we have Melissa. She'll be speaking, as well as Kimberly. Oh, lots of wisdom, lots of information for you. A lot of what we speak about here for you, we speak in workshops. Yes, workshops, on stages, in our own groups, our own paid membership groups. You're getting this just for you. No cost to you, to allow you to know you are not alone. You are absolutely not alone. This group is like a warm, comfortable blanket surrounding you, so that you know that. And a lot of experts are in this group as well. And you want to filter out the noise. And there is a lot of noise. I talked about our friends and family not quite saying the right thing. Well, sometimes people in the various groups on the socials, they speak from their own perspective, their own situation, their own uniqueness. And what might have been contentious for them might not be contentious for you. What you're going through that's very contentious might not be for them. And sometimes they can be a little callous and say things like, just let that go. It's hard to let go. It absolutely is. Because in some respects, you're letting go of some of yourself. You've invested time, energy, love, and part of you in your marriage. You have. But it's not for want. It is not a situation where it is wasted. I hear a lot of people say that they wasted years. I invite you to change that thinking. I do. I know that it feels warm and it feels empowering to be able to say that. But it's not necessarily true. Yes, there's a bell curve. There is. 10% on one side, 10% on the other side, 80% in the middle. The 80% in the middle, it's not time wasted. Think about what you gained from it. Even if what you gained from it is a wisdom to know your boundaries, who you are, what you are going to tolerate and not tolerate, what you are going to accept and not accept. That's a very valuable lesson. You are going to discover who you are. Oh, and you've heard from a lot of women in this group that have gone through the process, not over it, not under it, not around it, have gone through the process and have come out on the other side. And they describe themselves as being stronger, of being more sure of themselves, for having clarity to move forward, to make sure that their ex is not part of their next. We don't want to do that. We want to be able to identify the patterns that you had in your relationship so that you don't bring those forward to the next relationship. Now, you might be thinking, Vanessa, yeah, no, I don't want to bring that in to my next relationship. And I can respect that and I can understand that. However, you'd be surprised how many women find themselves repeating that pattern. Well, why is that? Because in some way it is comfortable. You already know it. So your body, because your body's involved in this, recognizes it. And though it doesn't like it, there's a sense of familiarity with it. You become comfortably numb to it. In some respects, you expect it. Even though you don't like it. No, not at all, but it's familiar. And that's why sometimes when we get involved in a new relationship that's new and exciting and intoxicating, and it feels so good because it feels so different, but sometimes we can't enjoy that difference because of the uncertainty of it. For some, that uncertainty is so exciting and so intoxicating. For others, it's fearful. We don't know. We'd almost rather have it be similar to our ex because at least we know what we're getting. It's not right. No, it's not. And I work with women to break those patterns, to have their own sense of self-awareness, self-confidence in who they are without the judgment of everyone else. Without the judgment of everyone else. You know who you are. You do. Even if it's buried underneath so much crap because you have been everything to everyone else. It is time for you to get yourself to the top of that list. We talked about that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about betrayal. And I know that if you haven't had betrayal in your relationship, you might just want to check out and go, oh, now she's going to talk about betrayal. Let me move out of this. Well, you're in this group not only for the support that you're getting, but to support others that come in that feel very raw. You remember what it felt like to be raw, to not have any kind of clarity on your situation and looking to others to provide that comfort so that you know you are not alone. Now, we want to pay that forward to others that come into the group that say, I'm new to the group, I was betrayed, I'm going to go through a divorce. You want to be able to provide at least a little bit of comfort to that person. So it's helpful to have a little bit of understanding around it, even if it doesn't apply to you. See, the hardest part about betrayal isn't the lie. It's not. The hardest part of the betrayal isn't the lie. It's realizing how long it existed. I'm going to repeat that. The hardest part of the betrayal isn't the lie. It's realizing how long the lie existed. Betrayal creates two realities: the relationship you thought you had and the one that actually exists. How many people here have have ever felt like you were living in two completely different realities with your partner? That confusion is actually a normal trauma response. So even if you haven't gone through betrayal and you're going through the divorce process and suddenly your partner is a completely different person, completely different person, well, that can be very unsettling because now, again, you have two different realities with your partner. You have before you uttered the D word or they uttered the D word, and you have the afterward. Yeah, it's not exactly the same. You would agree with that. I would agree with that. It's not the same. So you have two different realities going on. And that confusion actually is a trauma response. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. This is not easy. It is not. So I want you to take a deep breath. And let that go. And it's okay. It's absolutely okay. If you have reached the point where you have the clarity to decide this relationship is not for me, it is not for me, and you have decided to go the route of divorce, okay? A reminder, it is not a waste. I know that we want to say that. We want to be empowered by that. And that's okay initially. But I want you to remember that you are a different person now. Dare I say, with 99.9% accuracy, you're a better person. Because now you know. Mm-hmm. Now you know. You know yourself. You've introduced you to yourself. Yes, you found yourself. So many women that come into my office after divorce and are feeling stuck, when we have worked together to get them unstuck from the grip that they have, where they just feel like they are fine. I'm fine, but I feel off. I'm fine, but I feel unsettled. They're stuck. And sometimes just like a weed, okay? A weed where you try to rip it out and it doesn't come out, the roots and all. So you have to wiggle it back and forth to loosen the dirt to finally be able to yank it out, roots and all. Yeah, that's sometimes what we need to do. We need to do that. We need to eradicate all of the weeds around us so that we can have a beautiful garden and we can be the showcase. Because that's what you are. Beautiful in your own right. Absolutely beautiful in your own right. So I invite you to take that nice deep breath with me. I did it anyway. So with that all being said, I want you to know that the emotional exhaustion that you are feeling, the emotional exhaustion is a sign, Allow it. Give into it. It's okay. It's okay to rest. I have a lot of women that come into my office and they're so anxious to move forward. They want to move forward, they want to move forward, they want to move forward. And they don't realize that actually if they pause, if they take a moment to allow all of those emotions to wash over them, to move their way through them, to make peace with them, Sometimes they'll take baby steps forward. Sometimes they'll take a big step backwards. Sometimes they'll take 2 steps backwards. And those 2 steps backwards, when they feel defeated, no, I don't want you to feel defeated if you take 2 steps back. Not at all. You know why? Because you have to take 2 steps back to get a running start. A running start. So you make a mistake. You do. It's okay. It's okay. Most important thing to know is, what did you learn from it? What did you decide from it? Did you get a moment of clarity from it? Yeah. You'd be surprised how many women come into my office, sit down, and tell me that they slept with their ex. And they feel awful. Or the other side is they feel grief all over again because they miss that. They miss the connection. Those are 2 very valid feelings to have. They are. It happens more often than you'd like to think. It does. Because it's familiar. There's a closeness. There is. There's a vulnerability to it as well. But then we have some clarity. It's like finally putting on a pair of glasses when you have been walking around without glasses for so long. You're just used to seeing everything blurry. And suddenly you put on glasses that are the right prescription for you, and you see everything crystal clear. Now, initially, you might get a headache. Oh, yeah, you'll get a headache from crystal clear glasses. Why is that? Because the flood of information. It's the same thing with clarity. It absolutely is. Just like that, you suddenly see things differently than you saw them before. Because you have the clarity. With clarity comes confidence. Oh, confidence, for me and a lot of others, confidence is the most attractive quality to have. When you can stand on your own 2 feet and feel good in your skin, regardless of your age, regardless of your size, regardless of all of those external attributes. It's who you are on the inside, and confidence bleeds out. You know this. You've seen somebody walk into a room with confidence, and you take notice. Now, it's not to be confused with arrogance. Oh, no. Confidence. They're comfortable in their own skin. Wouldn't that feel great to be confident in your own skin? To know that when you put on those glasses of reality, you see everything crystal clear. And that crystal clear is the clarity that you need to know that you are making the best decisions for yourself. The best decisions for yourself. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, and maybe you're not going to hear this from others. And I do need to share this with my clients, because a lot of times initially what they are missing, and they don't recognize it, is that they don't trust themselves. They don't trust themselves. So how do we work on that? How do you rebuild trust in your own capabilities? You don't do it with promises. No. Willpower? No. I know a lot of people talk about willpower and stuff. It's just forcing your way through that. It's going to come back. It absolutely is. Now, motivation? Oh, that's different. Motivation and encouragement? Oh, that is a perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Absolutely. Those two go hand in hand. And when you have that, you can move mountains. You can. And you can do this. That's why you're in this group, to get that encouragement, to see that motivation, to know that you can do this. You can. You absolutely can do this. And how we rebuild trust is by our behavior, our own behavior, that we indicate to ourselves that we are going to do something, and we do it. And when we do it, and we do it over and over and over again, it becomes predictable. And we like that. We love certainty and predictability. Absolutely. Now, I also want to mention, and this was a great piece of information that I got early on. And initially I dismissed it. So you might dismiss it. That's okay. But I'm hoping that a couple of days from now, a couple of weeks from now, a couple of months from now, you remember it. And just like that, it clicks for you. And you'll say to yourself, Vanessa said, and now I get it. Now I get it. What we focus on expands. What we focus on amplifies. It does. If you're having a contentious divorce with your ex, or you're already divorced and you're having co-parenting issues with your ex, and you already know the predictability of the dynamics between the two of you. It's so predictable. You can absolutely, without a doubt, guarantee how he is going to behave related to X, Y, and Z. You know that. It's predictable. You don't like it, but it's predictable because the behavior is predictable. And what we focus on amplifies. So if we focus on that behavior over and over and over again, it will just continue to amplify, and you will have that emotional exhaustion. Mm-hmm. So there's a variety of techniques to work through that. I'm sure a lot of the other experts that are speaking today will speak to that as well, so that you have some techniques. And I know many will comment about self-care. I'm cautious with self-care because I find it's an added pressure. You know what feels good. You know what doesn't feel good. So let's focus, because when we focus, it amplifies. Let's focus on the things we do like. And that could be a variety of things. Not in the whole self-care list, but it could be a variety of things that you just get to stand in the shower for 10 minutes uninterrupted. Okay, you want to call that self-care? Call that self-care. I call it a moment of Zen. That's the moment. I look forward to that moment. And when I think of that moment, it amplifies. It amplifies because now I'm looking forward to it. It's just 10 minutes, but I get the shower all to myself, unlimited hot water for 10 minutes. 11 minutes, it gets a little cold. Not gonna lie, but with that being said, I have that. I have that predictability and that comfort that resonates with me, and it allows me to break away from the emotional taxation that I have at times. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because I don't want to be emotionally exhausted. I don't want to have the avalanche of emotions hit me over and over and over again. I don't want that. I don't want that for myself, because it doesn't make me who I want to be and who I am. And I want that for you. I want you to be so comfortable in your skin. I want it that when you walk into a room, everybody notices your confidence. Mm-hmm. And that your ex doesn't become part of your next. Nope. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Not at all. Nice deep breath. Nice, nice deep breath. And your nervous system that might feel like out of whack, like triggers are just like that. I mean, they hit you. Ugh. Yeah, I know. I know about triggers. Yep, have them too. Absolutely. But when we learn to trust ourselves, when trust comes back, our nervous system starts to feel safe again. Yeah, that's what we really want. We want to feel safe again. And sometimes that safety comes from ourselves. It does, where we stop second guessing ourselves, where we stop ruminating over conversations over and over and over again. Come on, you know it. You absolutely know it. You replay that conversation over and over and over again. I should have said this, and I should have said that, and he said this, and then I should have said that, and so forth and so on. And you read through the text messages over and over and over again. Oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said that, and whatnot. And you beat yourself up over it. What we focus on expands. What we focus on amplifies. Stop focusing on what you feel you did wrong. Let's think about what you did right. What you did right for yourself, for you, for your kids, for your family, for your job, whatever it might be. But what you did right. Step out of the cesspool of the self-doubt, the critical inner critic that you have. For the gremlins sitting in the corner with a flashlight, projecting themselves out onto that wall, that scariness of that, of the unknown. Because as I said, we like certainty. We want certainty. We want predictability. Well, you get to create that, and you can. And the support system around you, the army of support that you have around you, you start building that piece by piece. Whether that includes a really good friend whose judgment you do not feel, who is just there for you. Just there for you. Might be family, same thing, who is there for you, who allows you to get all those emotions up and out. Might be a therapist from a clinical standpoint for your mental health, that you need a clinical diagnosis to be able to move forward. You might need a coach. Okay. I'm a coach. I needed a coach. Yes, I had a marriage therapist, a marriage counselor, group coaching, you name it, I went through it. Programs, all of the sort, because when I went through Betrayal, and this was almost a decade ago, there weren't as many resources as there is now. I want to be cautious with the resources that are out there. Please vet, VET. Please vet whoever you are going to entrust with your feelings. Right now, you're raw. RAW. You are raw. Trust, out the window. You don't trust anything because you feel that you can't even trust yourself, let alone a complete stranger. I want you to properly vet your support. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Look at their digital footprint, see how they operate, get a sense of who they are, and possibly recognize how they can help you, what they have gone through, their lived experience besides their credentials. And I say this very cautiously, especially related to betrayal, because betrayal is a very different type of trauma. It is. And with that being said, there is specialized training around it. It is not cookie cutter. It is not cookie cutter. It takes a very specific skill set to be able to help somebody move through betrayal and not get stuck. Yes, you can get stuck. And the stuck, how I know someone is stuck is the I'm fine, but. I'm fine, but. Mm-hmm. Means that they're performing. They're not feeling. They're performing. They're allowing themselves to just live a day-to-day, Groundhog Day, just over and over and over again. No joy, no happiness. Like, what is that? What is that? What is happiness? What is joy? Because they haven't found themselves. They don't trust themselves. So your army of support, please properly vet them. That is one of the reasons why there are group experts within this group. They are properly vetted. They have the experience, they have the credentialing, and most have the lived experience to be able to help you. And once you have that support system around you, utilize it. Utilize it. Ask your questions. And sometimes the questions will be repeated over and over and over again because your brain, your mind, because it's mind, body, and spirit, your brain is searching for answers. It's searching for logic. It wants to understand who you are, your relationship, everything else. You have so many questions and so many holes, and we start filling in the holes with things that might not necessarily be true. So, with that being said, your army of support, have it, utilize it, take advantage of opportunities that you have to learn more. A word of caution. Sometimes we can be oversaturated with information. Information's great, and you can Google so much information, without a doubt. But sometimes we become oversaturated with information and no execution. I can tell you all kinds of things, but if you don't implement any of them, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change for you. We don't want that. You want to move through it. So yes, there'll be certain exercises and certain things to do and certain moments, certain phrases, certain things that will just click for you. And when that happens, embrace it. Embrace it. And if you feel all the information's coming at you way too fast and you're getting oversaturated, you know what an oversaturated sponge looks like. You do. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that. How to not be that oversaturated sponge? Slow it all down. Because the goal is for you to reclaim your ability to think clearly. It's your ability to think clearly. You know this. You get a text message from your ex and it lights you up. You're ready. Let's go for it. Let's get into this. Because a lot of times, again, that bell curve, 80%, 10%, 10% on either side. 80% of the time, exes like to push buttons for sport. for sport. They know just the right thing to push your button. And they push your button because you're not thinking clearly at that moment in time. You are reacting to what they said rather than responding. Responding is by slowing everything down, because the healthiest decisions usually come after clarity, not during chaos. Say it one more time because it's important. I want you to hear this. Again, Vanessa said, the healthiest decisions usually come after clarity, not during chaos. So, you've heard me speak a lot today. Hopefully, this was very, very beneficial. So, I want to leave you with two very powerful things to remember. Okay. The first thing, before I get to that, so there were two things that I wanted you to remember previously. The two things were that what we focus on expands, what we focus on amplifies. Second is the healthiest decisions usually come from clarity, not from chaos. Two very important things to remember. They might not make sense right at this moment, but they will. Just like that, it'll click for you. And you'll remember Vanessa said that. Yes, now I see it. Now I get it. Okay. The third thing that I want to leave you with is that clarity. That's the key word for today, clarity. Clarity changes people's lives faster than any advice. Yes, I'm going to say it again. I know it goes against the grain. I know it. But clarity changes people's lives faster than advice. When you have that aha moment is the clarity. And sometimes you need to work with somebody, usually a coach. I'm going to say a coach because a coach, what's the difference between a coach and a therapist? In simple terms, a therapist is clinical, will diagnose you, will work on that diagnosis, that label. A coach is forward thinking, is the present moment. Where are you at this moment? Where do you want to be? How do we get you there? Now, even though I have a psychology degree, I am a coach, because that, when I went through my own personal situation, was what I gravitated towards. I wanted somebody that could tell me what was happening in the exact moment and what I could look forward to, what was in the future, what I could work towards, because that's where I'm going. I'm not going back there. I don't want to go back into the past. Not at all. I'm not living there. I'm living right here, right now, and into the future. And I want to look forward to the future. So I needed a coach to help me do so. The second thing that I want you to remember, so this is number 4. I know I'm off with my numbering, and I apologize with that. So once again, the first one is what we focus on expands. The second one is the healthiest decisions usually come after clarity, not during chaos. The third one is that clarity changes people's lives faster than advice. And the fourth one that I will leave you with is the moment you begin seeing the pattern that you are in, everything about the relationships around you can start changing. Take a nice deep breath and know that today you don't have to make any decisions. You can slow everything down until you get that clarity and that confidence to put one foot in front of the other and know that you can trust yourself. Thank you so much for the honor and privilege of speaking to you for the 19th time, the 19th monthly summit. It is my honor and privilege. As I mentioned, please stick around. We do have Denise, Joyce, Melissa, and Kimberly. They will be speaking to you on a variety of topics. You want to stick around? I'm not going to give that away. No. I'm not going to give that away. And our thanks to Angie Smith, our administrator, for this amazing group. Continue to engage with it if you choose to. You can just be a fly on the wall if you choose to as well and just read through it. Take everything with a grain of salt. Take what you can use, toss the rest. That includes things from the experts. If it doesn't feel right to you, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. You know why? Because you're unique. You're uniquely beautiful. Be sure that you get the support that you need. If you'd like to follow me, I am on all the socials. I do have a very large digital footprint, and it would be my honor and privilege to work with you if you choose to do so. You can find me at understandingear.com. If you click on my profile picture here within Facebook, you'll get connected to all of my variety of resources. Thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of your day.